Hello and welcome to the first technically running video review. Today we're going to be going over the Misfit Shine activity tracker and sleep monitor. We'll review the device itself, the things that come in the box. You'll also be able to see a few of the aftermarket bands you can purchase from Misfit. The black band that comes with the Misfit Shine. And that's the magnetic clasp that's hidden behind it. Next you'll see the black leather band. Retails for $39.99, along with the brown leather band, which retails as well for $39.99. And finally, you'll see one of the gray aftermarket sport bands. Last but not least, we'll also be doing a review of the actual application. Here's the actual device itself. It's just small, circular, simple. On the back, you can see the logo along with the 12, which signifies the top of the hour. So that way you can make sure, as you're putting it into your different bands, that everything's set for the clock. Now here, when you put it into the actual magnetic clasp, you'll notice I have a little bit of a struggle with it. Part of the problem is that you have to make sure you've got the polarities of the two magnets set. Otherwise, you get a little bit of pushback, and you're obviously not going to have a solid connection. So as we get through it, it actually holds quite tightly. In fact, I have worn it during a couple races, and it's held up quite well. I actually went ahead and threw it on a microfiber, which is known for being quite slippery. As you can tell, it sticks on without any struggle. This is the black band that actually comes with the Misfit Shine, along with the white band that I bought separately. Now you can tell this one fell apart. The reason I bought them in the first place is the black one began to deteriorate, so it's actually one of my larger complaints. Next up is this is the leather band, retails for $39.99, along with the brown leather band you saw earlier. For new users, you'll want to make sure that everything's lined up when you're first putting the Shine into the actual band. I've had it pop out a couple times, and it's not been pleasant. It's scared me a little bit. Don't forget to make sure the 12 is on top, otherwise your times will be all off. Now, what you'll see here is two things. First off, the double tap. You see there's my activity. So I have 3 dots, and now here is the time, which signifies a 12:45. I have found that this feature is great to have if you're either hopping in the shower at the gym, or maybe you're in the pool. Here's the triple tap. It's actually for activity tacking. You have options between swimming, golfing, basketball, soccer, or sleep if you triple tap, and you can also cancel it just by giving another triple tap. You'll see these again a little bit later. Now here's the actual Misfit Shine application. They just recently updated with this nice background to make things a little prettier. But real quick, you'll take a look here at my sleep. This is just yesterday, and it wasn't all that active. But Thursday, as you can tell, I had quite a bit more steps. As you scroll down, you'll see that I met my goal. You'll see some light activity along with some vigorous activity. I believe I was actually at the gym. Now at the very bottom here, you'll see sleep, and just as a quick warning, I am not a great sleeper, so those are not fake numbers. I don't really do all that well with sleeping. But as you look at the night, you can actually change some things with the settings. You can change when you went to bed. You can set alarms. It's actually some pretty nice features. Unfortunately, with 2 individuals that don't sleep all that well, we roll around quite a bit, so the alarms end up going off early, so we don't use that feature quite as often as someone who's single may. As you can see, you can flip through some of the different days. We'll get back here. As I open up the bars, this is a nicer, newer feature they've added. It's actually something they didn't have before. It's great because you can actually see when the activity was occurring. As you can tell, most of mine is either during the lunch hour or it's in the afternoon when I'm actually going to the gym or going for a run. Let's take a look at some of the different time views. So first off, we have weeks. You can see the peak of my week at 1,505 points. You can see this month, and scroll backwards through different months, and then actually scroll through the different days, which is great if you're trying to figure out, what days you were more successful on or what days you're more active. Now, looking at the sleep, I am not always that great with sleep data, partly because I don't really sleep that well as it is, and I'm someone that stays up late and gets up early, so it's not really the best data to use. They've also added a weight section. Again, I don't really use this all that well. I have other applications I prefer to use, but you can see it's actually doing quite a great job of keeping it all logged in one spot. All these are quite new features. Now the social aspects, I actually think are lacking. As you go through here, you'll see, well, first off, it doesn't help that Megan's the only person I really know on here. I can only look at this little bit of data. I'll get a notification throughout the day on how well she's doing, but they don't really sync all that well without the phone or the application being open. So that data always seems a little off to me. Looking through this worldview, I don't really know what the point of this is. I mean, I don't really care what some of these people are doing. I mean, it doesn't really make sense. Here's that activity tagging I mentioned. So the 3 taps allows you to pick through sleeping, soccer, basketball, tennis, swimming, and biking. So the triple tap then is based off of whatever this is. You can also choose which wearing position. It changes the algorithm, whether it be on your shoe, on your wrist, your pocket, however you want to do it. And you can decide whether or not you'd like to have the clock on or not. Now here's my profile. Recently they added some of these things, and I'm hoping they're planning on fixing that total distance section. I've obviously done quite a bit more than at 10.5, those 10.5 miles, considering my score is 15,772, which is well more than the 10.5 miles. You can actually change your goals, which is nice. You can crank it all the way up to, I think it's 5,000 is the max. Shows you how much you would actually need to do in order to hit that goal. I keep it at 1,000. You know, I'm not all that active every day of the week, especially when it's not race season. I might crank it back up here in a few weeks since things are getting a little busier for us. You can also change your weight goal and some of these other pieces. Nice to have. To sum it all up, I would say that the hardware itself is on point. It's accurate. It looks great. You have plenty of options on how you'd like to wear it, including, I believe they've even come out with Swarovski necklaces along with different types of bands, different colors, shapes, sizes. You can clip it on different parts of your body, etc. I think Misfit's done a great job with the hardware, but I think there's a couple places they could improve. Primarily the actual band itself. They fall apart quite easily. I'd love to see an update to the device itself as well. Maybe an altimeter would be great to have. But all in all, I think they've done a great job with the hardware. As I switch back over to the application, I'm going to get into some of the things I think they really need to work on. And you'll notice I focus more on the application of this because I do think the device itself is where it needs to be, but the application is where to spend some time developing a little bit better. I've noticed that my biggest struggles with the Misfit Shine have come from either the issue with syncing the actual device. I've had to restart my phone, I've had to restart the application, I've had to move through multiple different angles to get the thing to set, and sometimes it just will not sync. Next up, I think they need to figure out what's happening with some of these sport bands. I found that they are deteriorating at a much faster rate than they should, considering they are meant for activity and in some cases higher intensity training. They have fallen apart for me in many cases. Last but not least, the application is in need of a lot of work. It's again syncing issues, dealing with problems when it comes to the way it's displaying the data. I think the newest application update, which is what you've seen today, is confusing to many users. And I've had plenty of struggles with it just turning off and going blank in the middle of what I'm trying to do. And last but not least, there still is not a lot you can do with the data. It's really limiting on what's available. Now, the nice thing is Misfit seems to be pretty focused on trying to continuously update their product, considering when I first got this, it couldn't actually sync to any other applications. And I'm talking, whether it be MyFitnessPal or any other applications you may be using to sync your device. They've now fixed that. It actually even syncs with the Apple Health application, which has been great if you're looking for that data. But anyway, I think they're doing a good job. I think there's a lot of upside to this product. They are very much a startup. You can tell that in the way things are happening. I'm looking forward to future iterations, and I look forward to new updates. For now, that's all I have on the Misfit Shine. Feel free to comment with any questions you may have. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to Technically Running's first video review.